Israel, I think, is not interested in having Israeli civilians released from Gaza, even though Hamas has said it wants to release all the civilians and has in fact started doing so. Because the civilians who come out, just as the civilians who are held in their houses on October 7th and afterwards, are saying we were treated very humanely. And that's what happened with the elderly lady, Yocheved Lifshitz, who was released yesterday night. She came out and said there was that famous video of her. I don't know if you want to show it.
So this is an elderly Israeli woman who is right now being released to UN workers, right?
To the Egyptian Red Cross, because Israel refused to take her. Israel refused to take her. So Hamas released them to the Egyptian Red Cross.
What's your name?
It's okay, let's go. It's okay, let's go.
Yes.
You go with this one.
Shalom. Shalom.
Okay. You go.
So she says shalom, which means peace.
Yeah, and she turned her. You see what happened?
Yeah,
they were taking her away. She paused. She turned around. She said, "Wait," and she takes the hand of the Hamas, the Qassam Brigade's fighter, and says shalom. And I don't know if you have the video.
We do, of her explaining what happened.
Yeah, and this is back in Tel Aviv today after she has been.
מדוע לחצת את היד לאותו מחבל חמאס ברגע שהוא עבר
הם התייחסו אלינו בעדינות ואת כל הצרכים שלנו הם סיפקו.
אמא שלי אומרת שהם התייחסו אליהם בעדינות וסיפקו את כל הצרכים שלהם. My mom is saying that they treat them kindly and provided for them.
הם נראו מוכנים לזה, הם הכינו את זה במשך תקופה ארוכה והם הכינו בכל הצרכים שנשים צריכות והגברים צריכים ושמפו ומגרקך ושיער רבות.
אנחנו לא לוקחים שאלות.
And her press conference was, she said a lot of other things in it. She said that it was a very frightening experience to be taken to Gaza. She was taken on the back of a motorcycle. Now, and it's not clear clearly she ended up in the custody of Hamas and was at that point then looked after well. And she also said in the press conference that they were seen by a doctor regularly. They were given all the medicine they had back home, and they ate the same food as the people who were holding them. But many of the civilians who were taken into Gaza, Hamas has said, and also some of the videos appear to show this. Some of the videos that came out on and after October 7th, what the explanation that Hamas gave, its deputy head Saleh al-Aruri in an interview on Al Jazeera last week, was that this is him talking, we'd planned a military assault on the Gaza division of the Israeli army. That's the Israeli army division that surrounds Gaza, besieges Gaza. And they did, and they attacked a number of Israeli bases, and they released the GoPros of them attacking these bases. But he said that the Gaza division collapsed much more quickly than we expected. And at that point, when people in Gaza heard the border is open, there was a surge of people. And you saw that in the videos of just ordinary people from Gaza rushing across the fence into the lands that were where their parents and grandparents lived before they were ethnically cleansed to Gaza. And he said that a lot of those civilians were brought back in that chaos by other civilians from Gaza.
Right.
And it took a while to sort everyone out and to find everyone. And Hamas has said that we want to release all the civilians as quickly as possible. What they certainly will not release the Israeli military prisoners of war and the foreign fighters, because they've apparently captured a number of French, American, and other foreign fighters who came to fight against the Palestinian people as part of the Israeli army. They won't be released unless there is a prisoner exchange, or unless Israel succeeds in killing them.
Well, that's the thing. So you have all these Hollywood celebrities who are using their celebrity power, their star power, to write to Joe Biden to release the hostages, which is so embarrassing. I don't know if they understand how things work. But the irony is that two things. One is obviously they could use their voices if they cared about humans and not just one group of humans. They'd be calling for a ceasefire because
Yes.
they would acknowledge that killing Gazan civilians is inhumane, a war crime, crime against humanity, genocide, as you said, ethnic cleansing. But the other thing is that a lot of these people, I don't expect them to actually have any any concern, and this is a very terrible thing. But I think some of these people don't have hearts that can be reached when it comes to Palestinians. But then they should just be furious about Israel not doing everything it can do to free their hostages. But but no one's getting that story out, so they can't be up in arms about it.
Right, and I think Israel doesn't want the hostages released. The families do. You know, the families are protesting every day, or the captives. I don't like to use the word hostages because
captives,
it's incorrect. A hostage is somebody who is held against a ransom, and Hamas is releasing these people. Hamas did not ask anything in return for releasing these captives, these captives or these prisoners or these people who are taken amid the chaos, or taken deliberately. But what's clear is that what's very clear from the testimonies that have come out is that what they wanted was to exchange people, whether the military or the civilian, for the thousands and thousands and thousands of Palestinian political prisoners, including hundreds of children held in Israel's prisons that Israel absolutely refuses to release. And so they were simply trying to use the same means Israel uses because Israel does not release Palestinians based on human rights or international humanitarian law. So that's as much as we can say about it.
Right. I just think it's so, I mean, all these people really are duped and convinced that Israel will do whatever it takes to save Jewish lives and that Israel is a safe haven for Jews. And meanwhile, they're literally declining the release of.
And they definitely killed a large number of people on October 7th.
Yeah.
The exact number. And if you read the Mondoweiss article, October 9th in one kibbutz, the Israeli army shelled a bunch of houses that had Palestinians and Israeli civilians in them indiscriminately and killed a lot of people. But the exact number we will not know without an independent inquiry.